First off the bats, of course, the truckers and what that will impact in New York City specifically. These truckers are independent truckers. 1.7 million of the 3.6 million truckers in America are independent. We will see how many of the 1.7 million average independent truckers actually engage in this and how it impacts New York City. But remember, again, we've seen a number of blockades like this in places like Canada as well. This is not a blockade. This is not going to stop traffic in New York. This is just trying to send a signal that, you ban one of our probably somebody who provides a lot of business to those truckers in all those different apartment buildings and all those different condos and offices and Trump Tower and hotels. And you 386 million dollars. I mean, just insane numbers. And again, we're going to go to the truckers. I told you I'd go to you right away, and I am. David is in Texas on line 3. Hey, David, you're a truck driver, which means you're the backbone of our country and your reason why we get the supplies we need, even in this studio, to produce this broadcast both on air and over the air. David, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I was making a comment that trying to organize truck drivers is like trying to herd a bunch of blind cats with rotten, smelly cheese or something. Yeah. The reason we're out here is we're independent.
Right.
And we don't like people telling us what to do. But this movement is really more than just being about Trump. There's a lot of, and especially blue states, make it very difficult for trucks. So sending a message to New York can actually have a much larger effect. We just want some respect and to be treated like we are. And I mean, and really that treatment, we can look at the way Trump's being treated and say, you know what, we feel for the guy.
Right.
And that's probably why he gets so much of our attention, is because we know how we can feel the way he's being treated.
Yeah. Well, I think that's true for all Americans, not just truckers. David, can I ask you, and you don't have to disclose anything personal, if it is, just tell me, are you an independent driver?
I am not. I do work 1099, though. I work for a very small company, so we're affected by things very quick.
Yeah. Do you all plan to still deliver? Are you still in that kind of discussion?
What I do is hopper bottom, so it's not a lot that we go in and out of up there anyway. Very rarely do we, but I support them, and I'd be making the same decision if it looked like it was actually going to happen.
If it impacted your company to that level, it just seems like it's not one of those. But David, I think what you're talking about is the direct impact, and of course the American people see it too. They have the same feelings, and I think they have the same feelings too. Andy Economou, bring him in. A former U.S. attorney, Andy, on this absurd Trump $355 million civil fraud verdict when he has paid back all of his creditors. I didn't see any testify to say that they did not get their money back. So he's made, as he said, lots of people rich. He's been doing great things for New York. They even took down his ice skating rink or renamed it. And it would be a sad day if Donald Trump, who's even floated, just left New York completely. I mean, because of the skyline that he has attributed to.
Well, that's absolutely right, Jordan. You have a victimless crime here. You've got a crime in which there are no victims, nobody who has been harmed, nobody who has been hurt, nobody who has suffered financial loss, and yet you impose this enormous fine on him for doing business and succeeding. And I don't understand how a judge can think that that is advancing the cause of justice in any way when you have a business person who has done so much for the city of New York, for the nation for that matter, and what you're doing is stifling him.
I'm going to take Robert's call in Maryland because it sets up the next question perfectly that I've got for Andy. Hey, Robert, welcome to Secular. You're on the air.
Yeah, hi. How you doing, Jordan? I wanted to ask you, I wanted to know if you could give me more details on the judgment this judge has passed down on this $355 million penalty against Donald Trump in relationship to his businesses in New York.
Thanks, Robert. Andy, we talked about last week, the best case scenario, of course, would be getting this tossed. That was unlikely. The worst case scenario was losing forever your ability to do business in New York. He was not. It was 3 years. But let's tell people what has changed. It's kind of a middle of the ground other than the penalty. I think the penalty is so extreme, and he's only got days. I mean, like to start that appeal. The appeal, of course, you're spending more and more money on that. So what happens now? He did not get let's do this. A lot of people talked about a receivership. That means zero control by anyone at the Trump You can't, no, he couldn't put a new CEO in and kind of have a conversational period. So that was a great win, but there were other people put in place to slow things down.
Oh, that's true, Jordan. There are two instances in which the judge has sort of put the brakes on what the Trump organization can do and Trump can do himself, apart from the fact that he and his sons are barred for 3 and 2 years, respectively. What the judge did is he continued Judge Barbara Jones, who's a retired federal judge, in her role as an independent monitor in the case for a period of no less than 3 years. Now, what is a monitor? A monitor kind of looks over your shoulder and sees what you do and reports to the judge. She has made several reports to the judge. There was sort of an agreement between the Trump organization and her before this order came out that any transfers of over $5 million would not have to be approved by the monitor. Well, apparently $40 million was transferred on one occasion and the monitor was not told, so that got Judge Engoron worried and upset. So what has happened is the Judge Jones, the monitor's role and duties, and I'm reading from the order, shall be enhanced from those operative during the preliminary injunction, as her observations over the past 14 months indicate that still more oversight is required. What is the enhancement? The Trump organization shall be required to obtain prior approval from Judge Jones before submitting any financial disclosure to a third party so that such disclosure may be reviewed beforehand for material misrepresentation.
Yes, I mean, you still got to go through a process. A lot of people, Andy, have pointed out family members who are not involved in this. Eric and Don Jr., of course, cannot. They were also barred for a shorter period of time.
Right.
But people have talked a lot about Ivanka Trump, who is not barred in any way by this move, and even potentially Melania Trump as well, to kind of be that interplay between this moderator and this person doing the financial oversight and the Trump organization. So there are plenty of options available to him. He's just got to choose someone he really trusts.
That's right. There also is an appointment of a director of compliance, and that person is to be responsible, as it says, for ensuring good financial and accounting practices, and he shall establish internal written protocols for financial reporting and shall also approve any financial disclosures to third parties in advance of submission. So in two instances where he didn't have to do, Trump and them didn't have to do stuff, could do it and then submit it to the monitors and the compliance officer, they now have to have prior oversight and approval by the monitor and the director of compliance before they do something like that.
Truckers, we've got a couple of your phone calls up right now, and if you call us at 1-800-684-3110, there's no wrong answers here, by the way. I'm not going to judge you. Some of you work for private companies. You don't get to make the decision about where the freight goes, but we know 1.8 million of the 3.7 truckers, the backbone of America. Certainly, we thank all of you for what you do, provide for us and our kids and families. That you, again, contact us. Would you take part in this? And are you taking part in this as it begins today? Give us a call, 1-800-684-3110, and we will get you up first. And that's what I'm going to do right now, because it ties directly into the court case we're talking about with Andy. Let's go to Daniel in North Dakota on line 5. Hey, Daniel.
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I don't go into New York anyway or any of these other Democratic cities because they're just freaking unsafe. And New York itself is absolutely astronomical in price. Every time you cross the GW going into New York, it's over $100.
Yeah.
And, you know, Brooklyn Bridge is $30 both ways. I mean, it's too expensive, but it's just unsafe. And to me, it's just corrupt over there. I don't like going over there.
Yes, that's interesting. So even before this, and we had that in the later call, that this impact could impact other blue states because of the amount of money they charge these truckers to even get into the city to deliver the goods that their citizen needs. You think it'd be like the opposite. Maybe you'd incentivize it, build better lanes for them, make it easier to get into the city instead of making it more difficult.